France clock in for their very first appearance at these championships. A special anniversary edition, in fact, games held across multiple nations, a true pan-European tournament that is a reflection of the pan-European nature of the game. And this is where it all starts for them. 11 players, many of them friends, some foes during the league season, now united for a single cause as they carry the hopes and expectations of a nation in this grand quadrennial event. Ahead of us, a month of non-stop adrenaline rush. I trust you are strapped in comfortably for what will be, at least for partisan parties, the most unbearable, thrilling of emotional roller coasters. We have terrific scenes in front of us at the Estadio do Dragão, one of the biggest venues in Portugal. Well, they have thrown down the gauntlet with that anthem. Now to match it. Here it is then, the first page of the first chapter of this special tournament.
All I hope is that these nations, as well as the players of course, can make a good account of themselves, and I also like the fact that such excitement isn't just something that one host country has the monopoly of. It's shared by so many people across the continent, literally, and that certainly created an extra special buzz.
And we're underway. So, Jim, tell me this, who are you looking for in particular here?
Yeah, Paul Pogba. He could be a real game changer for this team, Peter. He's got the strength to hold off defenders and the technical ability to pick out a killer pass. He can also shoot with great power and accuracy.
It's Dembele! Oh, good effort, he got plenty on that.
Yeah, the shot was enabled, Peter, due to such smart control and technique.
Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. That's a decent ball. That is terrific skill. Whipped it again. They've played it short. Pings it out wide. Going through, crossed in, repelled by the keeper, and the shot! Goal, Ukraine!
I can give the keeper a little sympathy here because I think he might have been slightly unsighted. However, credit where it's due, it's still a fine finish from a tight spot.
Ukraine go ahead, 1 goal to the good. Look at the defender bombing forward. Knocks it away. Ball's out on the left now. Gets the better of his man.
Well, I don't think it was the wisest option, Peter, once he got into that position. It's not as if he didn't have people nearby.
Ukraine are taking a simple, modern approach here.
Yeah, but I'm all for simplicity, Peter. If it works, it's good enough.
Conte. Hoists it forward. Well weighted. He's got a chance! They've scored! They have done it! They have their equaliser!
Well, you know, thinking about that, I think they perfected that on the training ground because it took them seconds to get the ball from back to front. They really commit forward in numbers too. It was all very well drilled.
That has added a whole new complexion to the game.
Yeah, it's always a dangerous time when you've just scored. You can easily lose focus and then bang, you're pegged back again.
Looking for space out wide. Up to meet it! Oh, just couldn't turn it in.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Conte. And it's Griezmann. And here's Dembele! Well, he should have done better, and he knows it.
Good effort, very good effort. He would have at least wanted to make the keeper work, though.
Conte. Mbappe. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. And here's Dembele. Battles to win it back.
That's just very well played. He can't hurt you with his back to goal, and he didn't go for the back heel.
And here's Griezmann. Tries to locate someone up front. All the way back, and they start again. Pogba. Good take, and he's had a look. That is a crunching tackle. I have to say, that was an exemplary tackle. Stopped him dead in his tracks. Oh, good interception. And it's Griezmann. Tries to get it forward quickly. Has a pop! Same again, same outcome.
They're just lacking a cutting edge, Peter, and while that's fairly obvious, the rest of their attacking play is actually quite good.
He's had a look. He's blown his whistle for half-time. So, a very watchable game so far. Action at both ends and the team's level. So, there was the first half.
Who wants half-time when you have a contest this good? I can only hope it picks up where it left off.
That's a really interesting game, and they head in at half-time. Yeah, that does look a foul. Referee's given a free kick. He's gone for the shots. Dembele. He came in hard, very hard. Nothing wrong with that tackle. Ball won cleanly. Mbappe. And here's Griezmann. Gets good distance on it. And it's been taken straight back. Sissoko. Chance to shoot. It's Dembele! Good clearance and very necessary. Mbappe. Receives it in a good position. And he has been fouled there. Griezmann considers his options. So does he go for it? It's not a kind angle. That was travelling. Conte. Well positioned to make that interception. Up towards the front line. And he goes for goal!
Well, that's confidence for you. Distance doesn't even bother him.
Oh, that's clearly not what he wanted to do. Kante gets it back. Well, that looks a foul. Yeah, referee's given it. And the referee has shown him a yellow card. A long ball, but it's not hit its target. It's come loose. Oh, that's a foul. Free kick's been given. He's left his man. Has a hit! Oh, what a wonderful stop!
Oh, that's a sparkling save. Absolutely sparkling. His reflexes work ultra sharp.
And it's been taken short. Well, they're looking at the referee, but he's waved play on. Out to the right. He's pinged one through here. Mbappe! Goal! France! They've done it! It was coming! They have their reward! Perfect placement, the one place the keeper couldn't reach.
Well, I think two keepers would have had a hard time keeping that one out, never mind one. There was real venom in the strike and clear composure from the placement.
France go into the lead.
Yeah, they deserve great credit for turning things around, but they'll now need the defensive resilience to equal that attacking flair.
Loses his balance and loses the ball. Griezmann looking as though he's being given special treatment here, treatment he could well do without.
Well, the reaction suggests that the creative danger here is about to meet a stop sign.
Pogba. He's there to... It's Dembele! Pogba plays it. Shot at goal! Big relief, it just needed better contact.
Conte put absolutely everything he had into that. Maybe better look next time.
Both sides then taking this chance to turn to their benches. Conte. Rafael Varane. And it's Dembele. Danger averted for now. Tolisso. Now it's Griezmann. Dembele gets it out to the wing. It's got through. It's a fine challenge and it goes his way. Cleared without complication. Pavard. Ball's loose, who's getting there?
France are clearly looking to kill this game off. It's keeping the ball away from the other end too.
Ukraine making consecutive changes here. Just brushed off the ball there. Coman.
Yeah, it's safe to say that they just need to manage this to secure the win now.
Pavard does well to read it and intercepts.
Look, with time running out, they have to get the ball in the penalty box, and if it means a long punt, then so be it. They've got to give themselves a chance.
Now it's Griezmann. And it's got through. And that's it. Pretty much the ideal start. A win on the first day, a platform on which to build. How would you sum up what we've witnessed, Jim?
Well, they've laid down a marker with such a good opening win, and they're saying to the rest of the group, we're intent on staying at the top. On this evidence, I think there's every chance too.
France are on the cusp of making the knockout stage. Ever since the groups were announced, this is where they wanted to be, and indeed felt they ought to be. There is a sense of genuine theatre here. The loyal supporters hope it is all going to be wrapped up in the next couple of hours. 3 points will guarantee that they get their wish. We are in the port city of Porto, and this unmistakably the Estadio do Dragão. Blue, certainly the colour. We stand for the national anthem of France. Quite some performance, and now here comes the response. So they need a win. They need a win to get them over the line.
Well, Peter, the question that comes to mind is how much do they want it? These players know that this could be the gateway for bigger things. Progression, for starters, brings greater financial reward. It increases the brand power and can enhance the whole business side of things. Individual player profile elevation is also a huge incentive. Careers can be catapulted from this. It's worth remembering.
That's got things underway. Who do you think this turns on, Jim?
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe. There's nothing more frightening for a defender when he's running at you at full speed. He gets into his stride so quickly and seems to just glide across the turf. But when the goal's in front of him, he's also got that cool head that's required to pick a spot and finish everything off.
Yes, he's certainly the one who carries the hopes of his team. And Arnautovic! Oh, that's a terrific save from the keeper.
Oh, that's a sparkling save, absolutely sparkling. His reflexes were ultra sharp.
Dembele, he's gone for it!
Just to point out, Peter, that the fullbacks are quite high.
And what do they try to achieve?
Well, it's obviously a move to push the opposition wide men back and give them more to think about.
I have to say, that was an exemplary tackle. Stopped him dead in his tracks. Digne. And it's played forward. Neither side yet able to find the net. Hinteregger. Forward it goes. France need a win here to make it through. Kimpembe tries to get it forward quickly. Alaba does well there, alert. Looks a foul. Yep, referee's given it. Well, the ref's been lenient here. I doubt he'll get too many more chances. Mbappe. Tries to stroke it through. And he's there to cut it out. Digne. Mbappe. And it's Dembele. Pavard. It's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing. Hinteregger hoists it forward. Mbappe cuts it out. Alaba. Hinteregger. Pogba plays it forward. Timely intervention. Mbappe. And here's Griezmann. Pavard. Conte. And now they can launch a counter. That's clear cut, it's a free kick. Ball's loose, who's getting there? He'll have a go. Now it's on Nelson, and a shot! Big relief, it just needed better contact.
Oh, look, I don't want to sound too dismissive, but from here, that looked the harder thing to do.
And it's on Arnautovic. There is the half-time whistle. So both sides have drawn blanks and have toiled at times, but it's not been a bad game by any means. No goals at this stage, but certainly not devoid of action. It is 0-0 here at half-time. Into the last 45 minutes in this game of substantial significance. No score in the first half. Who's ready to go for it now? Hinteregger. It's all a little short of forward momentum, lacking thrust. Has he found his man? What an adventurous run from a defender. Now the ball's come loose and the chase is on. Massive leap! Oh, just needed a better contact.
France can defend those situations better by stopping the crosser at source.
So now we're going to get those changes we have been expecting. Digne. Conte. And here's Griezmann. Digne. Loose ball, who's going to get there? And it's been taken straight back. And here's Pogba. It's a loose ball. Conte, which gets up to head it! Oh, just couldn't turn it in.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Hinteregger tries to get it forward quickly. Griezmann. Goalkeeper's ball. There really wasn't very much in that, not far away from being a telling final ball.
Quality deserted them when they really needed it.
Kante gets his foot in there. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. And it's Griezmann. Dembele. That's a brilliant interception. That's gone a long way up and away. It has got through to him. Austria getting a lot of touches here, but they're not making much progress. And here's Griezmann. Dembele. Popper! Oh, just lacked a decent finish.
France are looking quite mean on the counter, and combating that requires even more meanness.
Final checks on the touchline. A change about to occur. 2 changes being made right now.
Concentration levels are very good, and so is the commitment. This game could yet yield a winner.
Now the counter. And Arnautovic! It's off target and by quite a way.
Austria just served up a reminder of how good they can be on the break. Their method is clear. Well, no question as to who's winning the battle in midfield at the moment. Some very impressive pressing in place here.
Now it's Arnautovic.
Austria showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now.
And the counter is on.
You wonder if that's it now, but there may be one more opportunity, Peter, for a late steal here.
Conte. And here's Arnautovic. Rafael Varane. Now it's Arnautovic. Has a goal! Yes! He's done it! Save the best for last! Perfect placement, the one place the keeper couldn't reach.
Well, I think 2 keepers would have had a hard time keeping that one out, never mind one. There was real venom in the strike and clear composure from the placement.
Austria take... So that's it. It is all over. So it ends 1-0, an enthralling game and an agonisingly narrow defeat. Jim, how do you reflect on what we've seen?
France certainly didn't see this coming. They didn't even walk the walk, never mind talk the talk.
So, on the face of it, things look simple. If they want to make the knockout stages, this is all or nothing. 3 points needed, and should they fail to collect those points, they will be going home and staying there. It all makes this very tense, really, for some, unbearable. The stress level's particularly high, but for those of us who are neutral, myself included, it is utterly compelling, and that is how it should be. We are in the port city of Porto, and this, unmistakably, the Estadio do Dragão. Blue, certainly the colour. We stand for the national anthem of France. Well, that has got the juices flowing, and now this. France are a team on a mission. Maximum points, and they're on to bigger and better things.
Well, if they can't find the motivation required for this, they might as well pack it in, Peter. This is the type of defining game that can propel the status of the whole club into the kind of territory where it needs to take its game. While individual careers may be helped with good performances, this has to be about the collective. If that remains strong, everything else should fall nicely into place.
And we're underway. Who do you, Jim, see making the difference here?
Yeah, Raphael Varane. He's solid in the air, Peter, he's tough in the tackle, and a very good reader of the game. Most of all, though, if something goes wrong when the opposition break through, he's got the pace to get back and make a vital intervention.
I wonder whether that has anything to do with you being a defender once upon a time, Jim. Conte. Sissoko. De Ligt cuts it out. Ake. Blint. Ake. Blint. Stefan de Vrij. Wijnaldum. Plays it out to the flank. Finds himself eased off the ball. And the counter is on. And it's Pogba. Loses his balance and loses the ball. The Netherlands are playing with a pleasing width here.
Especially that front line.
Is it working for you?
It's not movement for the sake of it, and yes, it is working for me. There's a purpose to create space.
Towering header! Oh, what a wonderful stop!
Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping.
Dembele battles to win it back. Doesn't get the pass he's looking for. All the way back, and they start again. Bizot gets it upfield. And here's Klaassen. Looks to thread it through. And that's a foul. Simple decision for the referee. Now it's Luc de Jong. Over to the left. Nicely controlled. Swung over into the middle.
There's been quite a few crosses coming in from that left-hand side. Ake really is providing a very good outlet there, and his contributions, I think, are going to be key. Well, this poses the defence a few tricky questions, and the answers have to be hard and fast.
Positions himself well and cuts it out. Now it's Griezmann. Gets wrestled off the ball. Bit of an appeal, but nothing doing. Needs a bit of penetration to go with all this possession. Griezmann. Frey does well there. Alert. And it's Luc de Jong. The Netherlands being made to look sloppy in possession here. Just brushed off the ball there. A real chance to break. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Look, he's offering an apology to his teammate, who
shapes to shoot. Disappointing finish in the end.
Well, Peter, I would say it was worth a try.
Davy Klaassen. Pavard gets into the right position to intercept. Griezmann. Hoists it forward. Dembele's cross. Davy Klaassen. Klaassen goes upfield. Done very well to intervene.
They've been denied a chance to develop any rhythm in the passing department.
He's played him through. Goes for goal! And it's Wijnaldum. Musa Sissoko. Well, they could break here. Shapes to shoot! It's broken loose. Whipped in. He's there to get Sissoko! And that's it for the first half. A breathless ending. So now the team has broken through, and certainly not for the want of trying. An interesting game up to now, but still goalless. And we are up to the break.
France ended that first half in such a strong fashion. I think we'll just have to wait and see now if they can rekindle that drive and that determination. It's been great commitment, and that has to be maintained in the second half.
No goals at this stage, but certainly not devoid of action. It is 0-0 here at half-time. We're into the last 45 minutes in this game of substantial significance. 0-0 then, and we're back underway. The flight is there to... And the shot! Oh, the ball's come loose! The Netherlands have turned to their bench, and we're going to have a substitution. And it's played forward. Davy Klaassen. Forward it goes. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Memphis Depay was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Ake. Klaassen. Here it comes. Out of play for a throw. Mbappe.
Well, it seems obvious that the plan is to try and get their passing game going again, but not with that lack of quality.
Well weighted. Mbappe looks to get on the end of this. The Netherlands are keeping their men at arm's length here.
Yeah, I just think it's a conservative move to deny runners the opportunity of going beyond that rear guard.
He's gone down, but the referee just tells him to get back up again. And it's got through. Gets the better of his man. That intervention was very necessary. That's gone a long way up and away. Dembele. Griezmann, he's gone for it! Goal! France! And that is the goal we've all been yearning for. Just so calm under pressure.
Oh, this fella's as slippery as a needle the way he freed himself to score. I mean, for that defence, it was a case of, now you've got him, now you don't. Brilliant.
Now some movement on the bench, and we are going to see a change. Big occasion, big goal, crucial lead.
Well, look, you've got to start your qualification process at some stage, Peter, and that goal is take-off for them.
And it's Klaassen, can't get the better of his opposite number. Dembele. Now it's Griezmann. Ball needed to be better there, it's a wasted chance. Ball through needs to be good here. It's Klaassen! Oh, just lacked a decent finish.
Well, he did get himself into a good position, something for him to cling to.
France are making a change now. Griezmann, good amongst the goals, is being taken off now.
Well, has he done enough since his goal? Is the feeling that he's lost his appetite for another? It's difficult to be sure exactly what the thinking is, but his race is certainly run now.
Ake. That's a promising ball. He's Luke de Jong! And yes, it's there! The Netherlands are level.
The Netherlands are certainly a team that knows how to play their football as stylishly as we'll see. Tiki-taka at its very best, and they back it up with goals.
couple of changes then in quick succession. And that has added a whole new complexion to the game.
Well, there's resilience for you, Peter. As a side, they never lost focus despite the setback, and this is thoroughly merited for me. Now they can go one better, possibly.
Mbappe.
France showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now.
Ake. The Netherlands keep the ball, but can't do anything meaningful with it. What a throw in. France making another change here.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious as to who was going to be taken off. His energy levels began to sag, and he was never going to last until the final whistle.
Digne. Benzema. De Vrij drives it forward. He's found his man. It's Luc de Jong! That's a real chance missed.
De Jong fully appreciates that he could have won it then, and now he'll be all the keener not to lose it.
There's going to be another change here.
Well, he's worked so hard for his side, as you would expect, but you couldn't help notice that he was starting to labour a bit, so it's no surprise. Concentration levels are very good, and so is the commitment. This game could yet yield a winner.
Oh, good interception.
You wonder if that's it now, but there may be one more opportunity, Peter, for a late steal here.
Played back in.
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling.
Going for goal! That's a half-decent try.
Conte certainly could have and should have made more of that.
To a minimum of 4 minutes additional time. And it's Klaassen. Ball's out on the left now. Klaassen looking to run onto it. Strong punch. The Netherlands desperately need a goal, and this could well be their last chance. And that is it. The referee has seen enough. So nothing between them after all of that, and you can't really argue with the result. Now the manager too unhappy with the outcome, and the fans really well entertained. It's all square in the end. Well, after all of that, Jim, what are you thinking?
Well, a decent draw, Peter, with a good mix of action and plenty of talking.
Well, it's knockout time. It is still, of course, just a game of football, but it is a different game of football in terms of its mood. I don't think that you could get away with telling any of these players, let alone the crowd assembled here, that this is anything like what went before. As far as winning the competition is concerned, every game from this point on is win or bust. It is knockout football time. And we have in front of us this gloriously imposing arena, absolutely picture perfect for a game of this nature. We stand for the national anthem of France. Well, that was impressive. Match that. Well, this is a noisier occasion all round. Everybody, Jim, knows what's at stake here.
Well, Peter, knockout competitions require knockout mindsets. There has to be a more dynamic edge to the whole approach, whether from going ahead or replying to going behind. This is when the adventure kicks in, and you have to be mentally prepared for a more intense pressure.
So it's down to business here. Who do you think this turns on, Jim?
Yeah, Paul Pogba. He could be a real game changer for this team, Peter. He's got the strength to hold off defenders and the technical ability to pick out a killer pass. He can also shoot with great...
Has a hit! Great build-up. It all deserved a better ending.
Well, there are a few pockets of space that are being exploited, and they need filling, and fast.
Rafael Varane. Pavard. Coman. Pavard has it in a wide position, so what next? And the counter is on. Defenders... Mbappe! There it is!
It's hardly a surprise, is it? That's what we're here for, a player with this wonderful knack of being able to show up and deliver at important times. Yet another example. And as soon as they made that error in midfield, they didn't have time to react before the ball hit the net. Very much a lesson learned.
Big occasion, big goal, crucial lead.
I think they've gone about their business with the opener very much in mind, and this augurs well now.
More than happy to take the muscular approach. Now the counter. He's got away. It's a brilliant interception. William Carvalho gets rid without sophistication. Rabiot, Pogba. That intervention was very necessary.
Portugal have pushed both fullbacks into quite advanced positions here.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what are they attempting to do?
Well, it's a bold attempt, in my opinion, to occupy the opposition in a way they're not expecting.
And it's Bernardo Silva. Tries one! Oh, nearly, but nearly is nothing. They've played it short. Get a throw in. Pogba. Coman. Mbappe. Going through. That's good defending, very good defending. And the shot! Just a whisker away. William Carvalho knocks it away. Well, that's surely a foul, free kick. There could be trouble here. For now, the referee is keeping his cards in his pocket. France seeking to maximise the moment. France with a chance here to increase their lead. He's missed, but not by that far. Gets up to head it! That's a half-decent try.
Conte did give it a fair old crack, and he'll be encouraged to step up again.
He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Peter, his body shape was a giveaway before he made the pass, and its obviousness was appreciated.
Guerrero looking cross-field, changing the point of attack. Oh, good interception. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Bernardo Silva. And now they can launch a counter. He's got through. Coman. And through to the goalkeeper. Coman. Ruben Dias. Guerrero tries to switch the play. Pretty robust, but it's got the job done. Dembele is onto it and can take it up. He's left his man. Dembele. Nelson Semedo. Coman. It's Dembele! William Carvalho. Guerrero tries to get it forward quickly. Ruben Dias. France scored early, of course, and it's 1-0. And here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Chance to shoot, and the finish! And it's played forward. Doesn't get the pass he's looking for. And it's Ruben Neves. And the first half is done. So there you have it, a close-fought half of football, but one that still had its moments. It ultimately produced just one goal. A more than decent game up to now. Some first-half thoughts?
Peter, this is far from a lost cause.
He's gone for it! Oh, that was nice, but not quite the end product required.
That was created because of good, lively movement, which pretty much dictated the pass.
Rabiot, Ruben Neves plays it forward. Nelson Semedo. William Carvalho goes looking. Forward it goes. Guerrero. And here's Cristiano. He's had a goal! Oh, it's gone in! The second half off to a spectacular start. And that is about as cool as they come. He picked his spot expertly.
Now that's what I call finishing, right in the corner. He knew instinctively who was where and didn't need to waste any time weighing things up. That's a cracking goal.
Portugal are making a change now. That has certainly made things interesting. Yeah, Portugal have a free kick. Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo! Oh, fine stop from the keeper.
Oh, that's a sparkling save. Absolutely sparkling. His reflexes were ultra sharp.
And it's been taken short. Carvalho. Well, that looks a foul. Yeah, referee's given it.
Yeah, well, they were exposed and vulnerable, and he knew he had to do something to prevent a goal then.
Well, that looks like a final warning. Still no card. He's trying the shot.
France have got away with it this time, but I think if they carry on giving away free kicks in positions like that, I think they'll be made to pay. They've got to be very careful. Just a little more discipline is called for.
He's through the middle. Big chance! Goal! France! And they've got their lead back. Simplicity itself.
That's just a great finish, but it's down to very clever movement. You can see this has been obviously worked on the training ground. He knew exactly where he wanted the ball, and it all came good.
So we have a breakthrough. Now how will things develop from here? He's made sure that that won't get through. He's ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. Coman. Mbappe! been intercepted, and that will come to nothing. Well played, he saw that coming. And it's Bernardo Silva. Bruno Fernandes. Throw in. So here comes the substitution. A swift reaction then, and the boss opting to reshuffle his defence.
Look, only time will tell now if this is the right decision, but at least the
tries a shot! Yes, it's in!
Well, that's something that will make the manager proud, because they dug in deep then and they've got their leveller.
This is quite a battle.
Well, they just couldn't have responded any better, Peter. Yeah, there's the old cliche about how teams can lose focus after scoring, but you still have to take your chances. Brilliant.
Dembele, it's Dembele! Goal! France! Into the lead once more.
Looking back at that, that's how you play on the counter. Quick and decisive and ruthless with the finish. I thought it was a stunning, stunning breakaway.
France get themselves into the lead. Oh, it's Dembele. Big chance! He's gone for it! Back of the net! And there's the goal they've been looking for. And that really is so impressive.
That's always a great sight, you know, on a football pitch. Nimble-footed, showed great balance and a really cool head to finish. And that kind of dribbling is really smart.
There's going to be another change here. France take a 2-goal lead and are looking good for the win.
Well, it's been an absolutely fabulous spell for them, and they're starting to look unstoppable. There could be more on the way.
Kimpembe does well there, alert. Portugal keeping their men at arm's length here.
Yeah, I just think it's a conservative move to deny runners the opportunity of going beyond that rear guard.
Dembele. William Carvalho positions himself well and cuts it out. Right through the middle. And the through ball is intercepted. Little doubt, that is a foul. Well, that's a booking, always looked it. Hernandez tries a pass forward. The referee's awarded a free kick. This could spell real trouble. We know he has already been booked. The referee has resisted the temptation to go to his pocket. It's just a stern lecture.
Yeah, and he's dodged a big one there. He has to be squeaky clean from here.
It's Dembele. What an adventurous run from a defender. Good take by the keeper, he's read that well. Almost nothing left on the clock here. Portugal are staring a first-round exit. Massive leap! Oh, that was no routine save.
Well, that was high-class goalkeeping there to back up his high-class wage.
So now we're going to get those changes we have been expecting.
Well, he's worked so hard for his side, as you would expect, but you couldn't help notice that he was starting to labour a bit, so it's no surprise.
He goes long. Bernardo Silva. Ball's loose, who's getting there? Dembele. Pogba has created one goal already. That's a promising ball. Mbappe. Oh, shooting chance! Well, that's where he wants it. Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes drives it forward. Dashing forward at pace. Diogo Dalot. William Carvalho gets it back. And that's it. Victory in round one. Still plenty to do, of course, but one huge step forwards. How would you summarise what we've seen today then, Jim?
Look, it's knockout football, and ultimately a win is what counts, and they seem to be able to adapt to whatever's required to make good progress. A team to keep an eye on, I think.
Well, all observers are agreed on this. It is the point where the competition gets really serious. Top teams now fielding their best available lineups in front of big crowds. A lot of noise, great expectation, and the sense that the possibility of silverware is at hand. This is a big chance. And this must be amongst the favoured arenas of supporters all over the world. It really does have a very special feel to it. And we rise now for the English national anthem. Quite some performance, and now here comes the response. Well, there is a perceptibly greater sense of urgency from both sides here, with a place in the last four on the line.
Well, look, when you reach this stage of the competition, you begin to think you can go the distance. Now, the big characters in either dressing room will be stressing the need to find whatever it takes to get through. Has everyone got the substance and character to make it happen? These are the questions that both of these sides have to answer today, and one side will obviously do it that bit better.
So that's got things underway. So, Jim, tell me this, who are you looking for in particular here?
Yeah, Jordan Pickford. He's a great all-round goalkeeper, Peter. Great at shot stopping and dominant in his box. He also gets counter-attacks going with his...
It's Griezmann! What a wonderful goal!
It's hardly a surprise, is it? That's what we're here for, a player with this wonderful knack of being able to show up and deliver at important times. Yet another example. Yeah, the pass was bang on, and he just had to ensure he didn't stray offside. The finish was actually bang on too.
France take the lead, landing the first significant blow in what is certainly a significant contest. No, that's not the ball he wanted. Forward it goes.
That's just an example of overcommitting, and they're fortunate for the quality of the intervention. It was vital.
Doesn't get the pass he's looking for. Kimpembe, Digne, Conte, Pogba, Mbappe, he's played him through. Digne, lovely feet. Mbappe gets it, and Pogba!
Just to point out, Peter, that the fullbacks are quite high.
And what do they try to achieve?
Well, it's obviously a move to push the opposition wide men back and give them more to think about.
Well positioned to make that interception. France scored early, of course, and it's 1-0. Varane tries to get it forward quickly. Trippier. And it's Grealish. Kane goes for goal! Digne plays it forward quickly. He's through the middle. Ball needed to be better there, it's a wasted chance. It'll be a throw-in. Sissoko. Pogba. Rafael Varane. Grealish did well to step in there. That was more than necessary. Grealish! The crowd reaction tells you just how close that was.
Oh, how close was that to going in? It only required the smallest of tweaks.
Moussa Sissoko. Jordan Henderson. Done very well to intervene. And he's away. In for a hefty challenge. He is not one readily to admit defeat. Don't be surprised if he tries that again. Kane. It's Kane! He's pulled off a fine save.
Oh, that's a sparkling save. Absolutely sparkling. His reflexes were ultra-sharp.
Promising move that. Good inroads into enemy territory, but no joy. Shakes to volley it! Oh, good delivery, almost the perfect outcome.
France can defend those situations better by stopping the crosser at source.
And it's been taken short. A really good feat. Massive leap! He's done well to get his head on that, but couldn't score.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Digne goes on a charge down the left. Digne plays it forward. And it's Digne. Pogba drives it forward. Grealish. Nicely measured pass. And the flag has stayed down.
Moussa Sissoko just did a brilliant job there. It was one of those all-or-nothing commitments, and he came up trumps.
Kante gets it out to the wing. Pavard needed to come up with a better ball.
The movement was good, but the pass lacked authority, a cause of mild frustration.
Looks to clip it forward. Kane. And that's left him on the seat of his pants. It's a foul. It could be a penalty. And that is a huge moment in the context of the game.
Well, I think the key issue here is why he did that and how he ended up putting himself in that position in the first place. He's got to be ultra careful from here.
What a save from Maurice! Oh, he's missed it, and the referee blows. There we are, off they go for half-time. The breakthrough did indeed come in the first half, but there has only been that one goal. It is very, very tight. Any strong opinions on the first half?
Well, I think there's plenty to be pleased about with that first half display in terms of the score and overall approach.
France leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments, and it's 1-0 at the break. So off we go once more. France carrying a one-goal lead. Henderson positions himself well and cuts it out, dashing forward at pace. Hoists it forward. Kane! Oh, surely that deserved better.
Kane fully deserves the plaudits for setting up the chance.
Digne. Digne goes looking. Griezmann. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Was too timid to make it through the defence. It'll be noted and improved upon, I'm sure.
Lloris will lay claim to that. Foden. Good ball. Towering header. Chance to shoot! There it is! England are back in business. Great reactions in front of goal. He just saw what was on.
Well, for me, that's just pure predatory brilliance. It's not so much the finish, but the way he read the situation when nobody else was even alert to it. It's fantastic.
There is some activity down on the touchline. It seems there's going to be a change. And that has added a whole new complexion to the game.
Oh, look, Peter, I was on the fence before a ball was kicked, and I still haven't moved.
Pavard. Coman. Keeper's got good distance on that. And it's Kane. And England have a chance to counter. Jordan Henderson. Timely intervention. More than happy to take the muscular approach.
Sterling really got caught in a trap there, and he just couldn't get out.
He's good for it! Sissoko. Now it's Griezmann. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Good idea, just poorly executed. Pogba, he does have an assist to his name. And it's played forward. Mbappe has a hit! Big relief, it just needed better contact.
OK, it's come to nothing, but it's a warning of further threat on the break.
England have turned to their bench, and we're going to have a substitution. Forward it goes. Kane with a shot! Oh, just lacked a decent finish. So here comes the substitution. Jordan Henderson, and back to base. Now it's Grealish. It's Kane! And the whistle's gone, presumably for offside. There's going to be another change here. It's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing.
France showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now.
It's come loose. Whipped in.
Concentration levels are very good, and so is the commitment. This game could yet yield a winner.
Going through. Oh, that's a foul in a dangerous area. And he's going to have his name taken. Players have gathered round, and they are clearly concerned.
Well, it was deliberate, it was cynical. You have to understand the frustration of being denied a clear opportunity, but it had to be done.
It is a fair distance from goal. I'm not sure if he'll have a go. He'll fancy Griezmann! Oh, should have put that away.
It's a very watchable game, isn't it? Any goal from here could well be the winner.
Great run on the overlap here. Rapidly approaching the end. Extra time is imminent, unless something dramatic happens now.
England merit full marks for their attitude and application in trying to win this. It means an awful lot, obviously.
Conte. Out for a throw. And it's Sissoko. Pavard. It's a loose ball. He's left his man.
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling.
Hit into the middle. And the counter is on. Griezmann. Walker. The 90 minutes are up, 30 more to come.
Yeah, and it's been a contest between two sides that were evenly matched on the day. Neither deserves to be on the losing side.
So to clarify, extra time will follow. Don't test this for the endurance, for the character of the players as we head into extra time. He's managed to get himself offside. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. What an adventurous run from a defender. And he heaves it forward. Pickford deals with it effortlessly. Kane hoists it forward. That's ruffled a few. Oh, that is asking for trouble. He's what shapes to shoot! Oh, it's in! Late in the day! This could well be it! Oh, beautifully dispatched. There was no reaching that.
Well, you know, sometimes it pays off not to think too much about things, just put your foot through it, and that was a good example. Great contact, and the keeper had very little chance.
So we have a breakthrough. Now how will things develop from here? Jordan Henderson. Foden. Kane. Pogba. Mbappe. Now it's Griezmann. Now, can he capitalise? It's anyone's ball. Coman with the challenge, and he has given away a free kick. Mbappe, Griezmann, Dembele, shoots! That's been won straight back. Pogba, Mbappe. Shot at goal! There's a goal! France are back on level terms. Simplicity itself.
Yeah, and teamwork was key to that. A beautiful piece of engineering to set him free in the box.
Well, it's an inspired substitution. Terrific move by the boss.
That's how you make an impact as a sub. You know, when most are tiring, you can impose a freshness and energy to best effect. What an introduction.
That's it for the first period of extra time.
Well, it may well be a case of who's got most to give now. Fitness levels look good, and it's not any less competitive.
Is there to be drama in these final 15 minutes? They have played themselves to a near standstill. What is left in the tank now? Over to the left, looking for space out wide. Final checks on the touchline. A change about to occur. Oh, it's Dembele. Dembele! France claiming a corner, and the referee concurs. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do.
This defence is wary about opposition pace.
So they're just not getting too tight.
Yeah, they know that if they step up, their keeper could get a whole lot busier.
Pogba tried to play it through.
Oh, Peter, his body shape was a giveaway before he made the pass, and its obviousness was appreciated.
Rabiot. Kane goes long. Let down by a lack of accuracy. Musa Sissoko. And it's Rabiot. He's through the middle. It's goes for goal! Oh, yes! It's there! And that has raised the roof! Well, from right in front of goal, there was no way he was going to miss.
It's rarely a problem when that much time is afforded in the penalty box. Nobody sensed where the danger was lurking, and the finish was made a lot easier.
France complete their comeback, and now they only need to hold out for a few minutes.
Well, look, Peter, I feel I've got to stress that there's still time for another, so we can't be too presumptuous yet.
Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. So that's it. It is all over. France have got it done, through to the last four, and evidently now believing in it. So a dramatic game decided in its very last moments.
Well, this looked like it had a draw written all over it, Peter, so credit where it's due. They found a way to win it, and they can take great satisfaction from
So it is semi-final day, business end in the ultimate show of the summer, which has gone on for a good part of a month already, but it is safe to say we are on the home straight. 24 teams began it, 20 have bid farewell, and now we are down to the last four, hoping for those two dream tickets to the final. I really don't think we could have hoped for much more in terms of atmosphere. Tremendous shows of friendship, which has been an overriding theme of these championships all over the continent, as fans have travelled from far and wide to be here. It is the penultimate page in the story of Euro 2020. We are in the port city of Porto, and this unmistakably the Estádio do Dragão. Blue, certainly the colour. Well, that was impressive. Match that. So just this game, and then their date with history. The big day we are all yearning for.
This competition has been a superb advert for football, Peter, up to this stage, and it'll continue like that with all the talking points focusing on the positive side of things, I'm happy to say. Credit has to be afforded to the way in which everything was coordinated, despite games being spread across so many different nations. In essence, none of the camaraderie associated with the tournament has been lost. I'm pretty sure that this game will back that up.
So that's got things underway. Jim, which player is best equipped for this game?
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne. He's just one of the best strikers of the ball you'll ever see, and that applies just as much to his passing game as it does to his shooting prowess. He generally likes to keep things simple, taking as few touches as possible, but making every one of them count. I've got a feeling he's going to be a real handful for the opposition here.
Yes, getting the best out of him will count for so much. Alderweireld. De Bruyne. Ferreira Carrasco. Looking cross-field, changing the point of attack. Promising cross, in with a header! He's done well to get his head on that, but couldn't score.
Lukaku brilliantly anticipated the delivery, and he'll be annoyed it didn't lead to more.
Done very well to intervene. And the weighted pass. Tielemans tried to play it through.
Oh, that just required a bit more oomph to reach its target.
De Bruyne, and here's Lukaku, looking to force his way through. It's a very good battle there, terrific to watch. Witzel plays a clever pass. Witzel needed to come up with a better ball.
The movement was good, but the pass lacked authority, a cause of mild frustration.
Well, the ball's come loose, and the chase is on. Oh, well defended, that had to be done. For Marlon. Anything, Jim, to pick out of these early exchanges?
Well, both sides seem happy with the patient approach for now, still trying to have a good look at one another.
And it's played forward. Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. De Bruyne, he's looked long this time. He's gone for it! Forward it goes. Now a chance to break. Alderweireld. France, so far, providing no real test at all for the goalkeeper. Looking to break out here. Mbappe, Pogba. De Bruyne, now the counter. Now it's Lukaku, over to the left. Tielemans. And it's De Bruyne, and that's found its target. Played out to the right. Witsel positions himself well and cuts it out. Alderweireld, all the way back, and they start again. Torgan Hazard. Kante drives it forward. Pavard goes looking. Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. And he's there to cut it out. It's off target and by quite a way. Out to the left it goes. Nicely controlled. Pavard did well to emerge with the ball. That's a contest to keep an eye on. Lukaku, he's through. And this is De Bruyne. He's had a goal! Goal! Belgium!
Yeah, the pass was bang on, and he just had to ensure he didn't stray offside. The finish was actually bang on too.
Belgium take the lead, landing the first significant blow in what is certainly a significant... He ran himself into trouble there, free kick given away. For a moment you felt that was going somewhere, but they'll have to go again. Won't get the better of his opposite number. Oh, he's going to be pulled back for that one. Conte, and it's Sissoko. Torgan Hazard, here it comes. Torgan Hazard with a delicate ball, and they win it back again. He's in! And here's Lukaku. It's Lukaku! Just sails past the upright.
Lukaku nearly produced a moment of magic. He knew the strike was pure.
The referee's pulled play back and has booked him for the original offence.
Belgium clearly seem to have lost their passing accuracy, something they're obviously going to have to fix pretty quickly now.
Torgan Hazard. Tielemans looks to dink one in. Torgan Hazard provides an outlet. Yep, it's a corner. Great leap! A really close shave, and the last action of the first half. So there you have it, a close-fought half of football, but one that still had its moments. It ultimately produced just one goal. A more than decent game up to now.
Not the most convincing of displays. They could certainly do much better than this. They'll want to keep things simple, build up their confidence and not rush into mistakes.
And we're off again.
Well, it seems like the perfect situation for fortune favouring the brave. 45 minutes to pack in enough risk-taking to get this match turned around. It's very doable.
Boyata tries to get it forward quickly. Big chance! Torgan Hazard was not to be moved. Vermaelen. De Bruyne. Mbappe. Well, there's something you don't see every day. And they're not going to make any further progress now. Conte. Mbappe. Now it's Benzema. Timely intervention. And they've got it back as soon as they gave it away. Torgan Hazard tries lifting it over. Little accusatory stare there tells the whole story.
That was just poor decision-making and a weak execution.
Benzema making use of the space out wide. Witsel. Back to the keeper and try something new. Oh, he's gifted it back. Mbappe! It's in! They have grabbed themselves an equaliser. Well, there was to be no other outcome. Belgium are making a change now. France grab the equaliser, and we're all square.
Yeah, for me, both sides are strong and well matched, and I think you need to be a good player to be out there right now.
Has a pop! Pinged forward. And the assistant referee has his flag raised for offside. Boyata, Torgan Hazard, Lloris is there to take, and the break is on. Benzema spreads it towards the left, going through, Mbappe, and the finish! Goal, France! And the comeback is complete. Given such an open invitation, he was always going to shoot.
Well, the keeper has every right to have a moan at his defenders for that, because they never got tight to the score. Simple as.
Well, this is what we've been waiting for.
No doubt as to who has the momentum here now. The only doubt is how many is coming. That's what has to be done now, no question about it.
Well, this isn't the time to talk about risks now, Jim, is it? They just have to hurl everything at it and hope for a break.
Well, there's no two ways about it. This is what they have to do.
Good challenge, he just stood firm. Keeper's got good distance on that. Mertens.
Belgium are actually displaying tremendous fighting spirit. There's a real belief that they can still have a say.
Now it's Mertens. Hits one! So close to drawing level.
Boyata couldn't quite put that away, but there's plenty of positives in how they've responded.
Pass needed to be better than that, and he knows it. Tielemans. And the whistle's gone, presumably for offside.
Belgium are definitely not going down without a scrap. Their attitude just can't be faulted.
There is some activity down on the touchline. It seems there's going to be a change.
Well, he's worked so hard for his side, as you would expect, but you couldn't help notice that he was starting to labour a bit, so it's no surprise.
Meunier pushes to get on the end of it. Played into space out wide.
Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
That looks a foul. Yep, referee's given it.
France certainly don't need to overcommit now. Their priority lies further back.
Kimpembe. Just a few more moments for them to hang on. Chance! He's got away with one there.
Well, the work rate to win the ball back was fantastic, and it set up the opportunity. That's great effort.
France making another change here.
Yeah, he's run himself into the ground, hasn't he? And it's good to see that the crowd appreciate his efforts, because he has put in a real honest shift.
Has he picked him out? Decent looking ball. And De Bruyne! Oh, that is rather wayward. And that's it. France are through to the final. See what it means to them as well. The will is there, the belief is there. Next up, the big day. So, Jim, how do you reflect on what we've seen?
Well, they passed that test in flying colours, and they have every reason to believe that they can go all the way now.
France are looking here at the chance to become a part of football history. We've had the greater part of a month of endless football. These championships have been full of talking points and debates, and it has been thrilling to be engaged in it. Euro 2020 has been special, memorable, magical for so many reasons. The fans have been unforgettable, as has the drama they have witnessed. It has never stopped giving. And as the curtain opens for the very last time, we look forward now to joining in the final chapter. The grandest game in this summer's grand event, and we are thrilled to have you with us for it. This game being played at Wembley Stadium, which is, in the eyes of so very many, the venue as far as football is historically concerned. And we rise now for the Spanish national anthem. Well, that was impressive. Match that. So here is how they line up, and nothing can top this moment for either set of players.
It is without doubt, Peter, the greatest show we have this summer, and the fact that this is like a celebratory edition too makes it that little bit more special, doesn't it? I've certainly enjoyed it, giving us a fair share of just about everything we've come to expect from a competition of this magnitude. And yes, let's hope that it gets the perfect send-off.
Final gets on the way.
As with a lot of finals, caution plays a big part in the opening stages, but an early goal can blow all that away, so I hope that we can create an attacking contest here, which obviously we want for this showpiece.
Azpilicueta drives it forward. Fabian Ruiz. Laporte. Jordi Alba. Fabian Ruiz. Fired deep towards the back post. Oh, the referee's got a decision to make here. What's he going to give? Oh, the referee's decided that he was fouled outside the box, and it is just a free kick. Can't say now that he hasn't been warned.
He just needs to find the control button on his aggression before the ref does it for him, Peter.
It's a fabulous position. Just brushed off the ball there. Dinks one in. Pogba. Spain are working the ball as only they can.
Yeah, Peter, and it's a style that requires players of high-caliber technique to move the ball about quickly in tight areas.
Hernandez. And it's Pogba. Dembele. Coman! Oh, nearly.
Coman almost put his side ahead with a pretty fierce attempt. He really spanked that.
Azpilicueta positions himself well and cuts it out. Good idea, just poorly executed. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. No goals as yet. Thiago. And here's Morata. It's Morata! Oh, the keeper's done ever so well.
Well, as tests go, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
Thiago plays it short. Kante tries to get it forward quickly. Laporte. Out to the right. For a moment you felt that was going somewhere, but they'll have to go again. Now it's Morata.
I wouldn't fancy playing up front in these circumstances, to be honest. There's absolutely no supply.
Conte. Azpilicueta cuts it out. Chipped through. And through to the goalkeeper. Mbappe. Whistle's gone, that's foul. Pavard, Coman, real chance! Goal! France! That could turn out to be a big, big goal.
That was easy, almost too easy. Yeah, and teamwork was key to that. A beautiful piece of engineering to set him free in the box.
France have made their breakthrough, so can they build on it?
Well, certainly the big occasion and a very big opening goal to boost everyone's confidence here.
That is as far as they're going to go. Thiago sticks in a foot to win it back. A real chance that he can get through. And it's Adama Traore. Thiago going through, plays it out to the flank. Surely a shot. Rabiot goes looking, forward it goes. Fabian Ruiz goes for goal. He's pulled off a fine save.
Fabian Ruiz is very sporting here to acknowledge the quality of the save. A lovely little footballing moment.
Thiago goes short. Adama Traore. Azpilicueta. Hardly anything between the sides, and it's 1-0. Jordi Alba. Fabian Ruiz. He's had a go! There it is! They have done it! They have their equaliser! And that is about as cool as they come. He picked his spot expertly.
Well, you know, sometimes it pays off not to think too much about things, just put your foot through it, and that was a good example. Great contact, and the keeper had very little chance.
Has certainly made things interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good contest with two very good sides, and with such great individual talent on show, it could go either way.
Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. Done very well to intervene. Well, there's the whistle. The first half of the final has flown by. What it has been an even contest, as the scoreline suggests, and it has been more than decent to watch. So, Jim, the halfway point of the final, what are you thinking?
I think both teams have played their part in what's been a pretty tight affair, and this is exactly the type of match now when the better players can come to the fore and make all the difference.
So, both teams heading off for the break. An interesting game has brewed up here, hoping perhaps for a little bit more from both parties in the second half, but the score at half-time is 1-1. And we're underway. Laporte hoists it forward. It's Adama Traore. Adama Traore. And here's Morata. Morata. Dangerous looking ball. And it's come to nothing. Hernandez. Pogba. Hernandez. Rafael Varane. Rabiot. Pavard. Laporte did well to step in there. That was more than necessary. Looks to play him in, but a minor communications breakdown. And it's played forward. Gets himself into trouble and he's lost it. Looks to clip it forward. Conte. Rabiot. Laporte does well to read it and intercepts. And here's Morata. Dembele pushes to get on the end of it. Thiago. It's come loose. Finds himself eased off the ball. Hoists it high. Oh, real danger here. And he's there to cut it out. Rabiot. Rabiot goes looking. Fabian Ruiz. Jordi Alba. And the break is on. And back to base. Rabiot. Coman. And here's Dembele. As Briqueta gets it away. He's gone for a throw-in. The ball needed to be better there. It's a wasted chance. Over to the left. He's picked him out. And it's the goalkeeper's to claim. And help's available out wide. Great leap! Goal at his mercy, and somehow he's missed it.
It's a very watchable game, isn't it? Any goal from here could well be the winner. Coman. That's gone a long way up and away. Look, this can still go either way. It might be flowing one way, but there's still time for some ebb.
And the shot! Oh, he's managed to miss it. So, time for changes on both sides, actually. Rabiot tries to get it forward quickly. Forward, what does he try from here? Good run down the left. What can they make of it? He's got through. Mbappe, and the shot! You can get that clear.
France showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now.
Rabiot. Pavard. Rabiot.
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling.
Chance! Mbappe is magnificent! Late Late in the day, this could well be it! And a trademark move ends with the inevitable classy finish.
Just when they thought they may be in at one end, they end up shipping a goal at the other, and it's all due to wonderful counter-attacking. They hardly had time to even react. There's only one word to describe that: clinical.
France take what looks to be a decisive lead.
I think it's just about seeing the rest of the game out now, because the crowd have gone into party mode already.
And that is that. France are the conquerors of Europe, winners of the final in a European Championship that has truly delivered, and this is an honour which is truly deserved. So onto centre stage come the central characters, the individuals who, as a team, blended into champions, and this is their moment.